Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Altgilbers, and I want to welcome you to our Monday mentoring call. It's February 17th, and I just muted it because we had so much noise coming in. So it's nice to have everybody here tonight. This is a call that's really meant to give us mental direction in network marketing. So it's not an opportunity call. So I'm not going to try to sell you on For Life. You're already in For Life as a leader if you're in, on this call right now. And so I don't need to sell you on the fact that we have the greatest opportunity out there. And we know we do. Because when I look back here at the 15 years that I've been associated with this company, and in those 15 years, the leaders through those years that have joined in my organization, and I've seen how this has prospered their families and enriched their lives. There are reasons for that. And it's not because it's a network marketing company per se, because there's a gazillion network marketing companies out there, right? But how many of them are doing well? And how many of those people in those companies have been in those companies for many years, still getting paid, their incomes are still growing, like it's happening here? It's really hard to find those kind of companies today. I would credit some of that, or even a lot of that, to our patented products. We have 17 patents on our products. Our unique life-changing products that we have. We have real science behind what we do and what we have, and people know that. They recognize that. And we get real results, and I think for that reason we've created what I call granite retention, where people just keep coming back. Not necessarily because they're doing the business. Some people just do other things with their lives, They're busy with their careers. Or maybe they're making enough money but they want to have a healthier life and for their family, for their children. So we've branded ourselves, I guess you could say. We've branded ourselves, and very few network marketing companies will ever brand themselves. So years from now, if somebody thinks about the immune system, they'll think, they think about transfer factor. They're going to say, hey, that's the For Life company. And hopefully they're going to be in your organization, and they're going to be ordering. Because I look at my volume every month, it goes up, and, it's somewhere between 17 and 18 million a month now, but it goes up. And you can't do that on new business. If every month is based on new business, it won't last. It will collapse. When I look at Monavie now, in the United States, Monavie was huge at one time. Now you barely hear of them. In India, they lasted, I think, a year. Already they're out of India now. No longer in India. Went up like a rocket, went down like a rocket. They're not branding themselves. It's hard to brand yourself with a commodity product. And that's what most network marketing companies have out there. So we're blessed for sure. But again, so going back to, it's not because we're a network marketing company per se that we're successful. It's because of the fact that we've branded ourselves so well in the marketplace, but also we have a compensation plan that pays people so well. So then, to be successful in this business, we need more. It's not enough to have a great product. You can have the greatest product in the world, but if you don't know how to build an organization, then you're going to be in trouble. And that's the reason why we do these calls, and that's the reason why International Mentors Team was created. I mean, think about it. Before the era of McDonald's in the 1960s, there were hamburger restaurants out there, weren't there? A lot of different places in the early 1960s where you could, I guess, buy a cheeseburger, right? But how and why did McDonald's become the number one, hamburger restaurant in the world today? How did they get branded so well? Because Ray Kroc understood what the McDonald brothers did not understand, and that was They did not know how to create a business model. They did not know this thing called franchise. Back then, the word, I don't know if the word existed, but they didn't understand that. How to create a system so that anybody could do it. It was a blueprint for success. In network marketing, it's got to be that way too. It's not enough to have a great product, a great compensation plan and all that. You have to have a system. And for you new people that have just got on this call, understand that's what we do. What is our system? Just briefly, our system is where we equip you. We equip you with a website, so you have your own personal website. And the website acts as a hook. It acts as a landing, a lead capture page, I guess is the right word. So that when people go to it, they immediately see what we call a teaser video. That basically, what we mean by teaser is that it's a lifestyle video, just a couple of minutes long, and then to the right, they can fill in their information on a form and submit it, and then they go into the presentation. Then you're notified that somebody is looking at your presentation. And then the header bar, the subject bar, there are different things they can click on about the product or the company, and then about you. Click on about you, see your photo, maybe a video of you that you uploaded there, as well as your story. So that is part of the system. Now, the other part is that you're given a password where you can go to the imt4life.com website and log in and go to your back office. And in the back office, we have an ebook that's free. You don't have to pay for it. It's highly illustrated. And it's about the 10 steps of duplication. What we must do to be successful in network marketing. And it's a contemporary approach to network marketing. Not how we did it 10 years ago. It's how we do it now. Offline and online. And then there are the tools in the back office too. Your prospecting webinar video tools, where you would email a prospect that 10-minute presentation, and you would do a 30-minute follow-up call either on Skype, if he's international, or if he's within North America, then you could just make a phone call to your friend or to your prospect and do that follow-up, and then have your be at the 4life.com website to enroll them at the same time when you talk to them. We don't complicate the process. We don't create a lot of unnecessary steps in this business to be successful. But there's more things in that back office that you'll see, other tools, and the person that got you on this call, if you're new, can help you with that. There's an audio library, and that's where we upload our conference calls to that library. That's important because, people are so busy today. Like tonight, I'm glad you got on the call. There's people who wish they could have been on this call, but for various reasons they couldn't. And some of these people live on the other side of the world, so the time zones aren't going to mesh. It's not going to work for them. So they can get on, just log on, and the other thing is, for people in other countries, it's not a phone call. They just log in, listen. They listen to the conference call. It doesn't cost them anything. So we've got tools in the back, and then educational videos about the business. Different things that you see in the news. We have that in the back in the back as well. Now, speaking of news, just to let you leaders know that this week we're going to be having all our conference calls uploaded through YouTube. And so that way it'll stream on smartphones very easily in any part of the world. So that's an important change we're making now. The other thing is that we also are going to have it where people who don't have smartphones, either in our country or in the Philippines or in Colombia or different parts of the world where people can't afford smartphones, but where they can log in very easily because they don't have that ability on the screen to take their thumb and their finger and expand it, to log in, things like that. It's very inconvenient, So that's going to be an important feature and an important change that people will see on phones that they have that are not smartphones. So the system is something that what we do is we give to you, and you get it for free. You get all that for free, and then, of course, these conference calls you get on as well, our mentoring calls. So all that is free, and it's all meant to equip you so that you can be very successful in this business. And why do we have this approach? We have this approach because, people change. I mean, we've talked about this in the past, that when you observe them wherever they are, whether you go to the mall, whether you go to a restaurant, where you go Starbucks, wherever you go, what are people doing now that they weren't doing maybe 5-10 years ago? They're always looking at their phones, aren't they? Always looking at their phones. So people are so into technology today. Therefore, it's imperative that your opportunity presentation, your tools, your educational materials, they need to all stream to a smartphone. It's critical. Second is that people don't have the time today that they had 5-10 years ago. It's not the same time. And you say, well, Jeff, wait a second, same 24 hours, man. No. People are so caught up today in so many different things that they don't have time. So it's very difficult to get them to a meeting. So we don't use a meeting model when it comes to presenting and prospecting and sponsoring people. We use the system for that. And, if people don't do that, then they don't have a system. They really don't. You've got to be able to have a system so that your leaders can prospect and build anywhere on this planet Earth. So, mentoring people, equipping people, that is so important in this business. Last week, and now I want to talk about what we talked about last week. We talked about, working harder on yourself than you do your leaders. And we talked about different things that we have to do to really grow in this business and value, finding self-value. You remember that? If you weren't on that call, then please, I want to encourage you to get, go to the audio library and get that information, take note of it, and then I think you'll find it very meaningful. What I wanted to do was just focus for a few minutes on not only today, but in our future calls we'll do in the next, I guess weeks or months ahead. But we have to realize that besides having the greatest company, greatest product, greatest system, there's something that we have to do and something we must develop, and that is our people skills. Because we have a slogan in For Life Research, together building people. And if we understand this business as we do, we understand that we're not in the nutrition business. We're in the people business. That's right. Nobody can compete with our products because we're the only company leading out there with a transferceutical science-based product line. Nobody else has it. But where people compete, or where they can compete, is in the people industry. And that's where you have to have people skills. I said this a long time ago, I think, on stage at a convention. If you get two leaders together and they're going to prospect one another, one's in one company, one's in a different company, but they're prospecting one another, who wins? It's the person with the strongest belief. And it's a person who has developed people skills. People skills are essential to this business. I've seen leaders just ruin themselves because they didn't have it. the way they would talk to their people, and the fact that they were so self-centered. It ruined their business. And then we just have to realize that the best thing we can do in this business is really start developing these skills. Now, tonight, just for the next few minutes, I wanted to talk to you, about the 30-second rule and what the 30-second rule is. And basically, just to put it in a nutshell, when we talk about the 30-second rule, it is that we need to say something very encouraging to someone the first 30 seconds that we meet them. Whether it's a stranger, a friend, whether it's at your place of worship, school, where you work, wherever you meet people. When you meet somebody, that first 30 seconds, always say something encouraging to them. When you're meeting with your leaders, or if you're talking to them on the phone, if it's a bad month, it doesn't matter. Find something encouraging to share with that person, or say to that person about themselves, not about you, but about them. Really, it's contagious, because I remember years ago that there was a president of a college that every time when he walked across campus, he would always do that. He would always say something encouraging to the students, and their faces, would just light up. And he used to say, he said to his son one time, because son wondered, why do you keep doing that? And he says, hey, be kind. Everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. People everywhere need a good word. They need an uplifting compliment. And it needs to be genuine. Even when I'm at conventions, there's thousands and thousands of people at convention, and a lot of people that want to talk to me, and certainly I want to talk to them. But you know what? I just don't go through them. I don't just run through them like a maze or like a gauntlet, I guess. I like to look at them right in the eyes, even if it's only for a few seconds, and smile. Just make that connection. Make them feel special. It's so important to be able to do that, to be able to pause and tell somebody, say, hey, it is so good to see you. How have you been? It really annoys me when I meet people, wherever, like I said. It can be out in public, it can be at a place of worship, it can be anywhere. And they say, hey, how you doing? And they just walk on. Well, did they really care how I was doing? I remember one time I had a man who said that to me. He said, you doing okay? Well, first of all, I could tell he really didn't care. And I just smiled. I said, yeah, if you don't change it. See, I saw his face, his reaction. And I just busted out laughing. I said, I just wanted to get your reaction. People can be so hypocritical, really, when it comes to this. It's not genuine. And so if somebody doesn't care, I'd rather they not say anything at all. Okay? As leaders, if we want to attract people to us, we're going to have to take an interest in them and make it feel like it's real. It has to be real. The reward for doing it, it's just huge. It's just huge. Well, when we talk about the 30-second rule, there's three things basically, I think it does. One is that it gives them what I call the AAA treatment, and that is attention, affirmation, and appreciation. Attention I just talked about, right? Where you're looking at them in the eyes and you're making them feel it. See, I don't care if there's 4 or 5 other people waiting to talk to me. When I'm looking at that person, that's the only person that matters at the time. If all I'm thinking about is I got to go to the next, I got to go to the next, I got to go to the next, well then, Nobody's going to get that attention. And then that affirmation to affirm that I really value that person. And then, of course, appreciation that that person is very special. They don't get that in the world too much today. They really don't. So, you know, the AAA effect, that was one. You know, the thing we have to keep in mind when we're talking is, and I want to quote William King, I thought it was funny. And I don't know who William King is, but I read it one time and I liked it. It said, a gossip is one who talks to you about other people. A bore is one who talks to you about himself. And a brilliant conversationalist is the one who talks to you about yourself. That's right. So that's what we want to do. Develop those people skills. We want to be that brilliant conversationalist. Why do we want to do this? Well, we want to build an organization, right? We want to attract the right people to our team. And to do that, we've got to develop these skills if we're going to be successful. Here's the second thing that the 30-second rule gives you, or gives people, I should say. It gives them energy. Energy. I mean, think about it. When somebody praises you, don't your energy levels go up? I know mine do. And when you're criticized, they just drag you down, don't they? It's interesting. I mean, the energy's there. It's always there in each person, how we can tap into it. And we can either bring it up or bring it down. You know, when you bring it up, they never forget you. That's for sure. But just think about it. What kind of environment do you think you could create if you continually affirm people when you first came into contact with them? I mean, it's like you're a beacon of light when you walk in a room. That's how your leaders will look to you, my friends. You as the mentor. And then there's the third thing that the 30-second rule does. It instills motivation. I like that, reading the story once about Vince Lombardi. And he was, of course, the famous Green Bay Packers coach. And he was known for being a very strong disciplinarian. But one day, he chewed out a player that missed several blocks that he was assigned to do. He didn't do a very good job blocking one day. And then he was going to go back down in the locker room and chew him out. And he went back there, and then he just saw that player sitting there on the bench with his head down, just feeling dejected. I mean, bad. And you know what Lombardi did? Instead of going chewing him out, saying, yeah, you ought to feel bad, he patted him on the shoulder, and he says, you know what? One of these days, you're going to be the best guard in the NFL. Well, it turned out to be true because that player was Jerry Kramer. And it had those words that he said, Kramer said that he carried that feeling, those words with him his whole life. He went on to become a member of the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame and a member of the NFL's All 50-Year team. Simple things like that. Just how long does it take just to give some words of encouragement to your leaders, people that you're going to mentor? I mean, think about it. How important that motivation is, and what does it do? I mean, well, it helps people who know what they should do to do it. It helps them to know what commitment they should make, and they make it. Motivation helps people to know what habits they should break to break it, and it helps people to know what path they should take, and they take it. So we all need it. Just remember that those who add to us draw us to them. Those who subtract cause us to withdraw. We certainly don't want to do that to people in our teams. We really don't want to do that. So what we have to do is, first of all, when we meet people, is understand this. We don't want to search for ways to make ourselves look good. We want to make them feel good. We want to get our minds off ourselves and get it on other people. And then ask ourselves, what positive, encouraging thing can I say to each leader or each person I meet each day? Wherever you go, what can you do? And then give them the AAA treatment, the attention, the affirmation, and the appreciation. And then just also remember the 30-second rule, that within 30 seconds of the conversation, say something encouraging to that person. And that's my thoughts, tonight in developing our people skills and talking to people, and then understanding really what this business is about. And I'll tell you one thing, you show me a person that mastered these people skills, and they know it well, and they live it. And I guarantee you that person is going to be very wealthy, because people are going to draw to them. I remember years ago, it was once said regarding a leader, it said, if you think you're a leader and nobody's following you, you're just going for a walk. I hope a lot of people follow you, my friend. I really do. And that's what you need to do, develop those people skills. And we'll talk more about that next week. I'll go ahead and open up the lines now. And for those of you on the other side of the world, in different countries in South America and India, or Philippines, and Asia, maybe Russia, we send you our greetings. And now I'm going to open up the call. And if it's noisy and everything, we'll just say goodbye tonight. And now I'm going to stop the recording. Hang on.